Morning, everybody. It's Brittany at Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida. And I wanted to start out with Mr. Seth here. Let's see, I might be able to go over to him a little bit closer. Morning, Teresa. There's my boy. Hey, sir. Hi, Linda. Hello, Nor. This is Mr. Seth. Hi. What? What are you doing? Good morning, Leanne. Hello, John. I know everybody's worried about Seth. They haven't seen him on his Explore camera recently. Hi, Christy. Hello, Elizabeth. And that is because Seth here is so rambunctious. He's not supposed to be running or chasing, but no matter what you do, he tries. He's still chasing golf carts up here. You eating grass? Morning, Cynthia. So I wanted to show you guys that he's here and he's doing good, but he is in timeout right now. We're trying to give him a smaller space where he can't chase everybody around. Seth and Andy both actually came in from their rescue with large swellings. We think previous injuries that were never dealt with at his previous facilities. Yes, and so from day one, that's why he's always been a meds cat. Hi, Sonia. So he gets medicine for that, and it got pretty swollen a couple days ago, so we decided that he needed a little bit of a timeout. Hello, Simone. This is Seth at Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida. He is just in his roof section. He's waiting on breakfast. Good morning, Lisa. Well, thank you, Larry, for your donation. Really appreciate that. Good morning, Kathy. I know, you're so silly. Oh. Good morning, Betty. Hi. Yes, I know. And we all know he likes to try to jump and chase at me, so if he starts that behavior, we will be leaving. Hi, Diane. Karen, as far as I know, Alpha's doing well. I haven't had an official update on that, but still eating, getting a little bit stronger every day. Thank you, Lisa, for your donation. It's been very rainy here, but usually in the afternoons, come 3 o'clock, it's like clockwork. He does have his roof section that he's in, and he's got a nice den over here as well. Hey, Brian. Good morning, Michael in Canada. Yeah, the swelling has actually gone down quite a bit. He got a large dose of medication, and then we've been trying to encourage him to rest, which, again, it's like telling a small child to sit still. He is one of our younger cats, but he's also one of our biggest cats. And the problem is, and I mean, Catherine actually said the day that it started to swell, he was running around like a crazy guy, and no one was even over here. He was just running and jumping. He runs and jumps off of his den, which he shouldn't do, and it's adorable and it's cute, but he came in with this injury, so we have to be very aware of it. Yes, I know, sir. I know, sir. And we don't have the exact specifics on how the injury occurred, but both him and Andy had the same kind of swelling, so it almost looks like if they had an ankle that was chained or something that caused it to break, and then it just healed on its own in a bad way. Oh, I'm sorry I missed who the donation was from, but thank you very much. Yeah, Seth has almost a full acre, if not more, but that's the reason that he's currently only in his roof section, is because we're trying to encourage that he doesn't run around like a maniac. So as long as he's going to be well behaved and isn't going to pounce or try to chase me around, we'll stay here and talk to him for a few minutes. You guys can learn all about Seth and his story at bigcatrescue.org/Seth. Yeah, these cats that came in from the Colorado rescue have just broken my heart. I mean, they have all had major issues. We've obviously already lost Shiraka and Andy. Both Priya and Gabby had to fight for their lives. Seth is, you know, he's our perfect little angel, but he's been on medication from the day he arrived. He had a lot of dental issues that we had to deal with. He's doing good. He's doing good. Hi, Debbie. Yeah, any of you from the group or any of you that know our web links really well, if you want to post his web link, that has his birth date and his arrival date and all of that. Thank you, Jerry. I know. Hey, Karen. Yes, he is such a beautiful boy. Good morning, Mirza. Yeah. Thank you, Coralie, for your donation. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, this particular rescue breaks my heart. They all came from basically a breeding facility. Bred over and over and over again, and you know, sweet boy. Good morning, Sonia. Good morning, Gina. This is Seth at Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida. Good morning, Jody. Leah, actually, I was thinking about going over to see Nabisco after we leave here. Yeah. He's a good boy. You've been doing good. Thank you, Karen, for posting his link. If any of you have his exact birth date, you could post that. That'd be great. I don't do very well at memorizing all those, just under 70 cats, and when I started there were even more than that. I can't memorize it all, and the moment I give the wrong date I get jumped on, so oh my goodness sakes. Wild man. Oh, get that plant. You get that plant. Get it. Good morning, Barb. So goofy. I was gonna spend as much time as I could with him as long as he was behaving, because I know everyone's just dying over him not being on the Explore camera by the lake. But I wanted you to see that he's fine. He's just, we're encouraging him to rest. Which again is like telling a small child to sit there and behave. Get that plant. But it's very important that we try to keep him calm, because he's a big guy and it's not like you can put him in a cast, you know. Get that plant. No. See, he's just into his den. Now he's coming back out of his den. Alright, we're gonna have to end this, sir. Nope. Alright. Sir. Such a brat. Alright, well that's my cue. Let's go see how Nabisco's doing. Bye, buddy. No, I'm leaving. You're not chasing. Oh boy. Well, we lasted as long as we could there. You can see that Hoover's up on his platform. You guys can watch Hoover 24/7 on his Explore camera. He's very content up there. Yeah, he's something else. He doesn't act like he's in any pain at all. It was more of a visual cue for us. He wasn't even doing a lot of limping, but at one point it was quite swollen, so we know that he just needs to take some time. But it doesn't even matter. I mean, he chases golf carts that go by. He's a crazy man.
Yeah, Karen, we did see the cat, the feral cat that went into Hoover's enclosure and was eating off his plate. I believe actually Chris Poole has been trying to trap that cat. So I'm sure there's some plans in the works if it's going to keep hanging around. It's not a good thing. Alright, let's head over and see how Mr. Nabisco is doing. This other little wild man, just a lot smaller.
Hi, sir. I see you. This is Nabisco. Hi, man. What are you doing?
And Mrs. is sitting there chirping at him. And Smalls is sitting over there chirping. All got their morning routines. Nabisco's stalking me.
Oh, all right. Let's see these crazy bobs. Let's see these crazy bobs. Hi. What are you doing? You being a statue? Are you being a statue? Well, I'm gonna go talk to Mrs. What are you staring at?
He's staring at Smalls.
Let's go see Mrs. How's Mrs.? Here's Mrs. Hi, lady. Hi, baby girl. What are you doing? Where are you going? Oh, and we got a Simba. Hi, Simba. Yeah. You talking to your neighbors? This is Simba. He's a Savannah cat. It's one of our newest arrivals. He really does enjoy his neighbors. They're all kind of an adorable little trio here. Nabisco's really fixated on something up there. Everyone's like, you didn't bring the food. All right.
Follow. Mrs. creeping up on something. Yeah, Simba has come out of his shell a lot. He is a cutie pie. He's a lot of people's favorites. Thank you, Linda, for your donation.
They're just laying there in the dirt.
You've been waiting on me to get extra close so you can swap, huh? Sonia, actually that's a great idea. We should ride over there and check out Diablo's scratching post. I knew that's what you were doing.
That got you out of your trance. You was just waiting on the right moment.
Oh boy.
Nabisco and Mrs. There's Mrs. again.
No, I doubt there will be any supervised play visits with those two. To be honest, they seem perfectly happy and okay being separate like they are.
Here's my little girl. This is Smalls. Hi, lady. No. Hi, lady. What are you doing? You waiting on breakfast? You waiting on breakfast?
Lots of bobcats in this area, and I think that's why it's so cute that Simba really likes all his neighbors.
What you looking at?
I do apologize if I've missed any questions. I am generally not actually staring at the screen. I'm usually watching the cats and their paws and their claws. You hear that little squeaking noise in the background, that is Mrs. Claus. Let's see where she's gonna go.
Here she is. Need a surprise attack. Surprise attack. No. You love your little bobcat tail, but no peeing. Nope.
if you can hear her purring. It's very cute.
Oh, are you making noises too? Thank you, Sonia, for your donation. Here she's gonna come out again. Oh, looks like she's going the long way. Over to her platform. Little lady. Karen Hutch is doing fine. He was on a few of my lives last week. I don't know if she'll get her zoomies yet or not. She seems to get her really intense zoomies where she's just scaling the walls and leaping off of trees right after breakfast. Thank you, Jamie, for your donation. Morning, Diane. If you guys are just joining, we started out with Seth. We checked in with Seth, and Seth's doing fine. He's just in his roof section because we need him to rest his ankle. He did come in with an injury that never got treated from his previous facilities. Him and Andy both had the same type of swelling on their ankles. And he's like a child that you can't get to sit still, so we did have to confine him to a smaller space so he'd give it some rest. And then we came over, we've looked at Nabisco, Mrs. Claus, Simba, and now we're at Smalls. Smalls is just on her morning routine. Hi. I know. Smalls, where are you going? You can actually see Apollo as well in the background. She keeps looking at her tree stump. I'm not sure if she'll scale it today or not. She's swatting at something. Yeah, I mean, every decision we make here, we try to make it for the best for the cat, so. Good, I'm so glad you guys enjoy these live feeds. What are you saying? Thank you, Michael, for your donation. No, Apollo does not make the same type of lynx sounds like Gilligan and Skipper do. That's her lookout. She can tell them feeders are coming. Alright, let's take one more swing back over by Nabisco. And then I liked the idea of going and checking on Diablo and his scratching tree that Sarah gave him yesterday. Let's see where this crazy bunch is. They're staring at Simba. There's Biscuit stalking me. You can see the trio here. Got Nabisco, who's blown out in the sunlight, Simba and Mrs. all having a conversation. What are you doing? He's really intensely like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you today. Today's the day I'm gonna get you. Get me. Not to be outdone. Not to be outdone. And of course I can't have two cameras on each side, but he totally just pounced at me on the side there. All right, kids, this was fun. This was fun. So really the issue with cameras, or we would literally have them on every cat out here, is A, the expense of it, and B, we just don't have the strongest Wi-Fi signal. Randall has been working on improving that throughout the sanctuary so that we can add more cameras. But we have quite a few. We've got a lot that are public, and then we've got even more that aren't. So
You can find all of those at bigcatcams.com. Swirl around here, that's our gift shop. Yeah, the moment I turned to look at Simba is when Nabisco bounced, but I only turned the camera to Simba, so gotta keep your eyes on that biscuit.
There's Max. Hi, Max.
That was Simba with an S. We do have a Zimba with a Z, but he is a little bit further down in the sanctuary. Thank you, Ginger, for posting that link.
There's Miss Gabby. Hi, Gabby.
Let's go see if Diablo played with his scratching post yesterday. Oh, I see that it's fallen over. And he's scurrying away from that side, so we'll see.
Diablo. What'd you do?
No, Sonia, we've got a lot of security measures in place. They'd be absolutely nuts to try to get in here uninvited.
Oh, look at that. It's been knocked over.
So while we were still over here watching him yesterday, he was rubbing along the base, and you can see that some of the base has already been shredded, which is now why the whole tree has toppled over.
So he liked it.
She put a lot of catnip on it. Went really well. He's just very elusive, so Carol and Catherine both knew they weren't going to be able to like stay over here and actually watch him enjoy it, but Sarah, who made it, was able to.
Hi, Diablo.
She's formed a very good bond with him.
You waiting to eat with your neighbor?
So Diablo has really taken to Cyrus. He really likes Cyrus a lot. It's really cute because Diablo has a history of really loving certain neighbors of his, where he'll only eat if they're eating where they can see each other. We had Bongo, one of our servals, that we used to tell him he had a man crush on. He liked Ginger Serval and Chaos when they were neighbors, but it took him a while to warm up to Cyrus.
Hi. This is Cyrus. He is a caracal. Yeah. You got your new buddy next door? Yeah. Yep.
Because Cyrus eats in this feeding lockout here, and you can see Diablo's hiding behind that plant right there. So Diablo now prefers to eat in this lockout, even though he used to eat all the way over there on that other side in that lockout. So,
What are you doing, sir? You waiting on breakfast?
I know. I know. You can learn all about Cyrus at bigcatrescue.org/Cyrus. Hello, Donna. Thanks for joining. If you guys are just joining, we started this feed out with Seth, and then we saw Nabisco, Mrs., Simba, and Smalls. And we came out to check on Diablo, one of our Savannah cats. Got a really cool scratching tree that one of his favorite keepers made for him. Hi, Lucy. Good morning. So silly. See if Diablo will let us take a look at him.
Hey, sweet boy. I know, it's really super muddy over here, too. Hi. Oh. Spring loaded.
Okay, well, that was a big no. Let's walk over and see if we can see Chaos. Let's see where this girl is. Probably all the way around. If I'm missing any of your questions, I always reach out to you after the feed is over. You can try to ask again, but I'm rarely actually looking at the screen. Oh, there's Beach. I've been waiting to hear him. Oh, I see you, but you're in a terrible place for us to get a look at you. That's Chaos. Hi, Robert. Chaos. She must have been watching Cyrus. Where's that Beach boy? Where's that Beach boy? Breakfast salad. Breakfast salad with Beecher. Hi. It's Armani sawing. Beecher eating his breakfast grass. This is his routine every morning. Every morning. Beach. Hi. Beecher does all of his own yard maintenance. Hi, sir. Oh, what was that? Ah, what was that? Yeah. I know. Oh, well, happy birthday, Linda. Beecher says happy birthday. It's Armani again. Yeah, the scratching tree that Diablo got is just temporary enrichment. It's something that senior keeper Sarah D was making on enrichment nights. So every Wednesday night for about 2 hours, a lot of our volunteers come out and they make some of the most elaborate, amazing things out of cardboard, construction paper, tissue paper. Then they douse it with perfumes and spices. And we pretty much leave it in until it just starts to like disintegrate or they completely destroy it. And then it's usually in small enough pieces that we can just use our scraper pulls to pull it out. But the really big stuff will move the cats into a separate section and then we'll go in and remove it. That's how we get them in there. Getting that stick. Morning, Susan. Just watching Beecher do his own lawn maintenance. Well, as I mentioned earlier, the signal out here at the sanctuary is a little choppy, which is why we don't have cameras absolutely everywhere that are streaming live like that. So anytime Carol and I even attempt to walk into a building here while doing a live, it'll cut out sometimes. And thank you to everybody who's been sharing this, especially everybody who donated. Those are the ways that we really help support the cats. What do you see? You see something interesting. Sharing this video tells Facebook that it's interesting and it's important and it helps us reach more people. See, all of our cages are designed in bubble designs like this, and they all have the tunnel system. That way we can easily shift them around if we do need to move them from one side to another and go in for any reason. Nope, Beecher is a Savannah cat, and I see Miss Maya over here, so I think that's where we'll go next. So Maya is out in Funcation. So if you guys are new to us, Funcation is a 22,000 foot enclosure that the cats rotate in and out of every 2 weeks. So Miss Maya is currently the one on Funcation. We also have a vacation rotation.
Uh-oh, where are you going?
We also have a much larger enclosure for the big cats.
Hi, I just had to make a detour. This is Maya. She is a cougar.
Sonia, I'll definitely get back to you on the question you just asked. It flew right by and it said see more because the question's too long to even fit in my screen. So anything that I've missed from you guys, I'll reach out to you after this feed is over. And if you're just joining, we did start out with Seth. Make sure you go back and rewatch. Seth is just in his roof section. We're trying to get him to rest his ankle. And we saw Nabisco and Mrs. Claus and their new neighbor Simba. Yeah, we saw Smalls. We came out to check on Diablo and his, that's Nikita roaring. Donna, we have a wish list on our website as well as Amazon. Yep, thank you, Mary. If you guys can post links to all that, we do have wish lists out there of things that we do need. We generally only use blankets in the hospital. We use towels and anything that's super washable.
I know. Let's see. Sometimes she purrs really loud, but let's see. Hi, purr. I'm gonna flop. Oh, I'm gonna flop. Hi. Yep, we are a non-contact facility. We do not touch any of the cats here unless it's for a medical procedure. The reason for that is these are wild animals. They would never allow you to touch them in the wild, so trapping them in a cage so we can do it doesn't seem right. It's also very dangerous. They're very unpredictable. They may look like that's what they want to do, and then they love bite you. And then the CDC requires you to put them down and have them tested for rabies, so that does not seem worth it at all. Not worth it at all, ma'am. I can be just as in love with her like this as if I was petting her. Some of our older cats do get to be a part of the grooming program. So certain keepers that have been certified to do so can use retractable scratchers that have like little fingertips on the end, and it helps us get rid of any kind of matting that they might have that they can't groom in their old age. So she's just in her feeding lockout. This is the happy place for the cats. They come in here and know they can always get fresh water. We put their food on the concrete slab. But for cougars and larger, all of them are locked out in the morning, so technically she's actually gonna eat in this one right here because the door is closed. Yes, definitely check our wish list. There's a lot of stuff that we need, but there's a lot of stuff we don't really need because we don't have anywhere to store it or house it, so definitely check with that before you... Hi! What got me into the big cats? Well, so I am from Ohio, and several years back we had a man that had a ton of animals in his backyard, and the authorities knew nothing of it. He opened all the cages, he killed himself, and the animals ran free through the countryside. The authorities had no idea how to handle a situation like that, and they all wound up being shot and killed. And it was devastating. That news story will probably always haunt my husband and I. And when we started looking into the fact that there just aren't a lot of laws, and there's certainly no blanket law for the whole country, started doing research. We actually already knew we wanted to move to Florida, but we weren't sure what area. Yep, the Zanesville. And next step from there was where are places in Florida that I could get involved. And I came across a YouTube video that I believe Chris Poole had made many years ago, and it featured Joseph the lion. I discovered Joseph was also from a terrible place that came out of Ohio. And that was about it. The rest is history. My husband and I moved down here in 2015. We lived here for about a month and a half before we came on our first tour here, and then we went through the process to become volunteers. So that's what did it for us. The mission, everything. We did major research on big cat rescue before coming here, and yep, it was traumatic, but it did change our lives, and it made us want to get involved, so we did. And anyone can get involved. We are always looking for volunteers and interns here. She's been rubbing on that. You like that. It must be helping. For some reason, the big cats always seem to get mats around their neck area, so I'm kind of loving that she's figured out a way to make sure she can brush her own neck. Yep, so Joseph's the reason that I wanted to get involved here. And I worked my way up from a red shirt to a green shirt, and I had just become certified to be able to feed the big cats like Joseph before he passed away. But they did let me be involved with his last procedure, and I can continue fighting hard for the big cats in his memory. Yeah, look, she's very talented, Tanya. She's like, I don't need you guys to groom my neck. I can get it right here. You can see the hair just coming off of her. Yeah, that's still Armani sawing over there. You're cracking me up, girl. Yeah, Armani's probably our most talkative leopard for sure, and she really gets going in the mornings. Thank you, Sonia, for posting that link. The Get Involved link can definitely help you find all the resources as far as different ways you can get involved, including how to be an advocate. You don't even have to live here and be on property to do things that really help us. Also, just sharing these feeds, as I mentioned, really, really helps us. You can share any of our YouTube videos, our Instagram posts. Yeah, Armani and Sundari definitely have a little bit of a different tone, but also Sunny's not nearly as vocal as Armani, so like 90% of the time it's... Yep, you're right, Shauna. Maya was also from Ohio. I have definitely a spot in my heart for all the cats that come from Ohio. The tragic story about, you know, that guy doing all of that, it did actually lead to Ohio stepping up and improving some of their laws. So, in the end, hopefully some good things will come from it. She's something else. Thank you, Sharon, for adding us as your Amazon smile. That is absolutely amazing. Gotcha, Anya. Yep, I was born and raised near Dayton, Ohio. Lived in Columbus for about the last 10 years, and then we moved down here. So Amazon Smile is awesome. You shop smile.amazon.com, and it's exactly like shopping regular Amazon. You can buy all the same stuff. And then the only difference is that Amazon will donate 0.5% of your purchase at no cost to you to your charity of choice. So that added up to over $80,000 last year for the cats. And yeah, and that's just immensely helpful. Nice bath before breakfast. Alright guys, well I just wanted to thank you all for joining me today. Thank you to everybody who donated and shared this. I'll definitely reach out to you guys in the comments for any questions that I didn't answer. We did start out with Seth, so make sure you go back and watch this if you just joined. You can always rewatch these. They post automatically on our Facebook page as well as our Wildcat Walkabout show channel. And you can find us on Instagram as well as YouTube. Lots of fun content always being posted there. So thank you guys for joining me, and I'm sure I will see you all again soon. Everybody have a great day and a great week. Bye, Maya.